Welcome back to Realistic Progression 1, and welcome back to Lunar 2. This is our second attempt. It has another battery pack on the front now, so hopefully this should be much better. We're approaching the last little bit of the orbital insertion, so we've got time to Apo is just halted, so we can just bring that final flight path dangle down a little bit. That'll bring this down, and it will still stop at some point. See, here it comes, it's about to stop again, so again we can just drop to 0. And that will come in, but at the same time we've only got 27 seconds to burn out, so we'll get ready to disengage autopilot. We want to get this orbit to be close to 300 Apo as possible. I'm going to bring that down from, I think we were about 450 last time, so I just want to keep this quite nice, hopefully. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then count at 1, 2, 3, stop. Okay, so 342, but we're at 306 right now, so we're ready. We're pointing at where we need to, hopefully. Let's just point at prograde. That should do. Yeah, there we go, pointing at prograde. So, spin up, separate, and ignite. And at this point, well, we don't have no control, but we do have a lunar insertion, hopefully. So here is our situation in the orbit. So here we are on this side of the planet. The moon's coming around this way. So if we zoom out, we should see that our orbit's going to head out towards the moon. And we may still have too much delta V. I may need to reduce it a little bit more or bring our orbit down. So instead of 341 Apo, I may have to bring it down to 250. Yeah, out we go and escape again. Okay, now the other thing you can do here is a very fast transit. That saves on your battery. And then we may be able to do that. It's going to come all the way out here and maybe get close to the moon. So let's just zoom in slightly. And we have these two communitrons. We're going to have to activate them. We don't need to activate them just yet. But I think as soon as we get to space high, I'm going to want to. So I'm going to accelerate time, because we're going to get a lot of science as soon as we hit space high. There we go, space high. So let's just click on all of these. Okay, and start sending them all. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to activate both of these, I think. Now, this is going to depend on how long my batteries last at this point, just like at the end of the last episode. This is going to deplete things, but we really don't have a choice. As soon as we get out near the moon, we're going to have problems getting communication back to Earth otherwise. So let's accelerate forwards, and you'll see how quickly it's depleting. Now, this is with an extra battery pack, remember, so we do have a good chance of having enough power to get out past the moon, and we're getting very close here. Ooh. How close is this going to be? We should get good. Oh, 12.7. Okay, we need to get underneath 5. So that's much closer than the end of last episode. And more importantly, we can get lots of material science. And we have a delay. We haven't talked about delay just yet, but we have a delay of 1 second. So we can start sending all of that science back to Earth, and we should get some biome-specific science and use up this electric charge as much as possible to get as much science as possible. We can build another lunar craft, and then hopefully be able to get much closer within that mission time frame. We're up to 52 science already, so we can spend some of our upgrades on science. But we only have 107,000. This craft does cost about 7,000 each. I'm very hopeful that Lunar 3 will be able to do this job, but let's get closer. Have we gotten through all the science yet? Is it done? Okay, so we can send yet more. 63. It's going to upload even more. And is that... I don't think that's close enough for low. So let's just accelerate forwards and see if we get any more. Okay, that's a little bit of science. And I'm not going to be able to pronounce that, but Mare Serenity Serenitatis? Yep. My pronunciation of Latin is not going to do too well. So you see our angle is slightly out, but not excessively. Even if it was dead on, we'd still be missing the moon. So let's head, shall we say, warp towards, I don't know, can we even warp? It's going to have problems with that, so let's just accelerate time a little bit. I'm going to turn this back on. And are you going to get any new science at all as we pass? Visible imaging. Okay, so basically TV signals. And anything else? Space high, again, visual imaging. I don't think we're going to be able to get much else. No, and we've passed by. So at this point, we'll get some science from space high above the moon. But other than that, now our electric charges are going to run out and we're going to escape the Earth-Moon system. Now, when we do that, what I wonder, because we don't have that upgrade for our tracking station yet, so let's just keep on sending stuff out. When we do that, will we have enough range to get science from outside Earth-Moon? That would be very interesting if we could. But look at our battery. No, you see, by the time we get out to here, which is where the end of the sphere influence is in KSP, that's not going to. No. I mean, look, there it goes, and this thing's dead. Well, it's space high above Earth's grasslands, really? Okay, it's not a powered vessel anymore. It's basically a space missile, although it still has little lights on it. Oh well. Time for Lunar 3. So of course we did get 83 science out of that that flyby by the moon. So we can actually start getting more tech nodes unlocked. Crew survivability, so life support tanks. Basic avionics and probes. I think I actually quite like the idea of that one. Lunar range communications. I definitely like the idea of that one, so I think I'm going to take that one for certain. And this is going to need an upgrade, isn't it? So we can't do that. Flight control, RCS. I like the idea of that. So look, we can definitely take the solid rocket engines, I suppose, but at the same time, we want that first. So let's take the basic avionics. So that's 2 upgrade points. And now we've got 35 and 25 here. And this doesn't... that node does not get us anything. This one gets us lots. What do we get in here? Anything good? Service module type tanks. Okay. Service bays. The Atlas fuel tanks and Mercury Atlas. Okay. Redstone. So this is all manned, if you like, tanks. Of course, we can make our own custom tanks, but so yeah, the Centaur. And more Mercury stuff. Crew survivability is life support. So that's a large separation motor. Yeah, I mean, there's not really a great amount of other stuff that I need, but I do actually want to get as many upgrade points as possible. So what is that? That's 19. That would give us 26. Hang on. No, that would give us 15, 16 spare. And I don't think we have anything that we can buy with 16. So we're going to need even more science. Getting space low over the moon will get us more science. So yeah, let's just unlock. Let's just unlock this, because it doesn't give us anything, but it will be the progression towards other power generation. So we may as well have it. Okay, and that gives us some upgrade points. And we can use that to spend in wherever we like. So let's just go on to tech. Got plenty of tech to unlock. And that actually is taking quite a while. So upgrades, we've got 4 points available. We can up our build rate. That might get us more of these ships per year. Or more tech upgrades. So you'll see it's upgrading, yeah, 0.75. So let's just put a couple of those in. Maybe 3 and then maybe 1 more for our speed of our craft building. And now that's gone down from 71 to 67 days. That's not a huge amount by comparison. It's only a small percentage. We can put more money into it, but I don't really want to put more money into it for the moment. Tech upgrades, on the other hand, that was over 400, I think. So having that drop by a fairly significant amount is going to be good. So now we can time warp out and try and launch, well, it says Lunar 1, but it's the third of its kind, so Lunar 3. Welcome back to Lunar 3, and it's a daytime launch, so we can see we've got 30 seconds left in the tank, and we're coming up on orbit very quickly now, so we should be able to see everything that's going on, hopefully give you guys a better view of what's going on here. So let me just pin those, and let's pin that as well, and get ready to disengage, and there we go. So we've got a periapsis of 200. And that's the way I want to keep it, I think. Bring it down a little bit. You'll see our APO is also lower. It's on the 250. We're down to 32, 34 with a bit from our, spin motors. They are angled a little bit, so we should give it a bit of forward momentum. But let's see if this gets any better. What I'm actually going to do is let myself get, around the globe a little bit more. Not very much. Maybe just about that amount. That should shift our orbit around. Remember, in the previous missions, we've been coming in behind the moon. So I want to try and get in ahead of it if possible. So if we just stage, in fact, let's just turn on RCS and make sure we're pointing prograde before we do that. And that's about as close to prograde as we're going to get, I think. So spin, stage, fire. All right, and we're out of control again. So at this point, let's see if we get anywhere closer this time. So here we are, and if we zoom in, you should start seeing our orbit start heading outwards. There it is. So it's coming towards this point. I may have overshot this, but we'll see. Depends just whether we're going to escape. If we're going to escape, this is going to be a much faster transit across here, and if we do that, then there's going to be different issues. So we got 2, 1, and out it goes again. Yep, it's going to escape. Just that last few Delta V kills us every time. However, let's just activate the antennas. Make sure Science Here and Now isn't going to interrupt us. And let's see how close we get to the moon. Even with this extremely fast transit by comparison to a normal moon trip. Okay, so there's our electric charge. And out we come. In towards the moon. It's going to be close, hopefully. Oh, look at that. 3,783. But we're out of electric charge. How are we out of electric charge? We have the same amount of battery as last time. How has this used up so much more power? Are we just spinning nowhere near where the sun is? Oh, that's why. Okay. So that's just down to our launch, I guess. That's unfortunate because we can't really point that in another direction. What we'd have to do for that is make sure the solar panels, or some solar panels, were on the underside of here. Okay, this is still the same trip, but it's actually succeeded the lunar flyby. I think that may just be a bug. It did tick off saying that we'd collected science and transmitted it. We haven't. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with the mission system. Again, it is a pre-release version, so there could be some bugs here. I'm not going to count that internally in my head as complete. I want to keep on going with Lunars. The game Lunars? The game with Lunar Craft. The game thinks that it's done, of course, so we will probably get the Lunar Impactor contract and stuff like that. However, I'm not really going to be satisfied until I have this that is going to have some power and enough, certainly, to run some science much closer to the moon. Okay, so this is Lunar 4, our fourth attempt, but while we've been making it, our tracking station upgraded, which means one of the first features of MechJeb that are really nice has now been made available, which means we can just target the moon. That in turn means that we can just launch into the plane, the same plane as the moon itself, which is going to watch if you don't want to look at necessarily MechJeb stuff. You will be able to launch with the ascending and descending nodes depending on which one you have nearby. You'll see that very shortly. So if I press launch into plane of target, you'll see it says T-minus 1 hour 5 minutes, almost exactly. Okay, so let's engage the autopilot and let's auto warp. So it should warp us towards the time. And bring us back down again. Pre-launch. Pre-launch. And why has it said awaiting liftoff? We already have selected something. Did that deselect the moon? Select as target, launch. Okay, T, 2, 1. And off it goes. Okay, maybe I deselected it. Anyway, watch the video. If I did it, yeah, feel free to let me know. So, off we go. And now we should be as close as we possibly can be to the plane once we've actually taken off of the moon. Okay, so I'll see you in orbit for our next attempt. Alright, Lunar 4, we are still in daytime. Now, I have extra solar panels. We're coming up on orbit, so again, I need to concentrate in a second just to get that maybe close to 200 and give that a go. And let's get ready for that. So, in we come. We've only got 16 seconds left in the stage, so periapsis is increasing rapidly now. 3, oh, it's going to pause. 2, 1, 0, 1. Oh, a bit too much. So we'll see how well that actually does. We should, because it waited a little bit longer, hopefully be able to just go straight away. So let's turn on our RCS, make sure we're pointing at prograde. And I really probably can lose most of that RCS. And here comes Scatterer. I really need to replace that version of Scatterer. So let's just spin up. Attach and go. Okay, and we will activate these. In fact, I can probably activate them now, to be honest. Shouldn't matter much as far as this side of things is concerned. Okay. And I don't think we can plot maneuver nodes yet, can we? No, because we don't have the other mission control upgrade. But this should be okay as is. We have reduced our delta V a little bit because of the extra weight of the tiny, tiny solar panels. Oh, and there's our encounter. How close? 22. Okay, so we're a little bit too far in front of the moon now. But maybe we'll be able to get our mission control upgraded. That'll then give us a maneuver node which we can then tweak to then point our vessel at before we fire this fixed amount of delta V. That would make it much, much easier than doing this blind. However, even so, we can probably try and collect some science, maybe. Let's go and give it a go anyway, shall we? Yeah, why not? So let's head out there. And the other way we could actually do this is by putting some tiny, tiny amount of RCS, and then around halfway across here, we could try and use that. Just forward and back, nothing more. Well, will forward and back actually help? Maybe not, because we're not heading in the right direction. No, we're going to be offset some side. Yeah, so we don't really want something spinning like this if we're going to have the RCS. We're going to want something that can adjust this just a little bit. Tiny amount of delta V in the middle should let us adjust this distance to the moon, and that's probably what we're going to have to do for the Lunar Impactor mission. Just to have some control over this. The alternative is you upgrade your mission control and you have a next perfect amount of delta V, or you have it so that it will then impact with that fixed amount of delta V. Both are possible. Not sure which one I'm going to go for just yet. Let's just actually head out there now. We don't need to worry about this too much more. How's our electric charge this time? It looks okay for this distance. So in we come, and yeah, we're not going to get too much science, to be honest, but let's send back some of the visible imaging, the TV camera. And we're not close enough to the moon to get any more science there. So another probe ends up out towards the outer solar system. Okay, so why don't we take a look at how much it's going to cost to upgrade our mission control. There's some more science though. I'm going to do this off camera, gather as much as I can, and see you back at mission control. So we do get these missions multiple times, and this will give us an advance of 150,000. So I think I'm going to go for doing it again, because hopefully it will then require us to send science. So let's take that. That'll bring us up to 380,000, which we can then reuse. And unfortunately, the KSC is covered in the water. You probably can't see it on camera at the moment. This occasionally happens. So let's just find that. And we can upgrade this to the facility upgrade, and that means if I go to the here, we don't have anything available at the moment. We've got 23 science. Let's go and see if that's got anything we can spend on. Mission control will take 204 days, however. So if you build another Lunar 1, it's going to take another 65 days per one of those. So, you know, 3 attempts before we get the ability to plan our attempts. So yeah, a little bit more blind work involved. So let's take a look in research and development. And is there anything we can spend it on? There certainly is. We can go for that node. Crew survivability. Yes, we can possibly go for that as well. I'd like a couple more sites to be able to get this this node that is sort of the bottleneck. We don't have it just yet, and I'd rather get the upgrade point than delay. High-speed flight, that's turbojets. Hypersonic flight is various different controls, it looks like. Attitude jets and ramjets. Okay, so why don't we go for human heat shields for now? Yep, let's take that. Should give us an extra point or so. So let's get the extra point sorted out once my tooltips come back. Once the game doesn't, you know, see that I'm about to click on a spaceplane hangar and freeze. Okay, so here's our current tech. So it's 210 days to the 1959 orbital rocketry. That actually might be a nice node to have. And again, it's all within the 365-day sort of mission time. So let's look at upgrades. We've got one available. We could bring that in, or we could make our rockets build faster. I'm going to bring in the tech upgrades. We want to catch up on that quite quickly. So 196 days. Oh, okay, maybe 10 days quicker then. What does 1959 orbital rocketry give us? 58. Slide rocket engines. There it is. So that's the XLR-81, or the Agena, or also, what's the other name for it? The Bell? Yeah, the Bell rocket engine. So that's a nice one to get you up into, get up payloads up into orbit if you wanted to use that. Quite a nice engine. More of the boosters. Agena vacuum engine. Yes, LS-87 boosters. Spaceplane engine. We're not going to be building spaceplanes just yet. But, yeah, an AJ-10 early upgrade. Where's the AJ-10 mid? Because the AJ-10 mid is the first one I think we get that has relights. And having the ability to relight that engine while it's in orbit is huge. RD... Are you in here? AJ-10 early? No, that's the 142, so it's got to be the one after that, maybe? 1961 orbital rocketry. AJ-10 mid, there it is. Okay, so that's going to be a few nodes yet. But that should, if we have a look over here on the right side, does it have any number of relights, or is it any amount? I think it doesn't have a limited amount. The only thing you got to still take care of ullage. That's certainly something you need to deal with, but we can deal with that with RCS. So you can just use H to push forward with the RCS. That will cause an ullage effect. Your fuel will settle to the bottom, which can then be relit and restarted. So I'm looking forward to that. Make a beeline for that, certainly for unmanned. And yeah, but we need an upgrade up to this facility for that. That's going to be so expensive. Okay, back to the lunar missions. Okay, here we are in Lunar 5, so it's time for us to just get to orbit, and that's not very long at all now. And we have a few more surprises up our sleeve to actually get this done, so let's just get into orbit first of all. Reasonably circular, we don't have to be too accurate this time, we don't have to go straight away. So let's just see the countdown on the periapsis, so 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, and 264 by 203, that's more than adequate. So we don't need to worry about that anymore. What we can now do is, we've got the moon in roughly the right position, so we're in an orbit, and we can now create a maneuver node. Great. So we'll use the maneuver node editor, it's the easiest one to do, so let's just say 3198. Let's see where we get to. And update. Alright, so what does that send us to? Well off. Okay, so if we're going to spend all of that, let's actually bring this down. So let's go up to 10s and bring ourselves in. There we go. So we've got an encounter already with the moon. And we'll have a periapsis there. So let's go and... So we need to spend some more delta V elsewhere to try and get a little bit closer. So if we spend even more here, you'll see our periapsis is increasing at the moment, so that's not going to help us too much. So let's go the other way. And let's just keep going. Yeah, it's going to increase that way as well. Okay, that's not going to be too helpful. I'm going to do a bit of fiddling around. What we need to do first of all, though, is just tick on this, right click, and add an extra orbit, because we're going to go around the Earth once. And my mouse isn't responding. Thanks, mouse. Okay, let me fiddle with this and we'll see where we get to from there. Welcome back to Lunar 5, and we've just achieved orbit, just as normal. I am, however, going to set up a new node around about here. We can now do this. I waited for the mission control to upgrade. So I'm going to add a maneuver. I'm going to add in about 750 radial, and again about 3150 prograde. And let's update that. So this is how much it's going to cost. Now, I'm going to assume we're going to get some delta V for the separator. I'm going to get a little bit from the spin up. So probably an extra 35. So I'm going a little bit high here, but what we want to do is look at where we get to on the moon. So we may have to increase the time a little bit, and we can take a look at where that sends our vessel. So we've got 5196, so that would take us quite close. So let's just go back a little bit. Yeah, and let's just, I don't know, change that by a few seconds. And that is an impact. So that might be an interesting one to go for, because if we get it a little bit wrong, maybe it'll still be quite close. So that's 3238. I may not get enough from the separators. We know we've got 3198 in the tank and some of this. So we've got to adjust that a little bit more maybe. We want to bring it down a little bit. So I don't know, maybe 35. So let's just increase this to 1s instead of 0.1s. So maybe around there. I want to say that looks good. So 35 more than what we've got in the tank. That should still impact the moon if we're on course, that is. So let's turn on the RCS and point at the node. That's going to adjust this a little bit. It shouldn't be too bad because it's right next to where we're currently pointing. Yes, it's a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that. And the node is in 1 hour, 25 minutes, so we're going to have to go around once. We don't have terribly good solar panels, remember, so this is going to use up some of our battery staying in a holding orbit, but let's give it a go. Let's bring ourselves around. And we've got 13 minutes, 10, 9, 8, etc. 7, 4, 3, 2, and then let's just bring that back to real time. Okay, so we've got enough. We can't really see the craft too well at the moment, but you'll be able to see it in very short amount of time. We've got 32.9 seconds, so we want to split it probably around 20 seconds or so, something like that, 15 seconds. So we'll be spinning up shortly before that. We can have a look at our battery. Our battery's run down, and we can see where it's composed. So the avionics has drained entirely. The probe has some, and the battery pack has some, and we'll be keeping both of those. So we don't need to transfer it from any one unit to any other unit on the rocket, on the vehicle. So all we really need to do now is see just how close I've estimated it. It may miss, and if it misses, well, because it's an impact, it will just fly straight past. Fly straight past. I'm not doing a low speed approach here because we just don't have the battery to do that kind of thing. So let's just fast forward a little bit and just bring ourselves to 25 seconds or so and get ready. We're on the node. And 20 seconds. Spin up. Separate and burn. Okay. And again, now we have no more control. But we should be a whole lot closer than where we have been on previous trips, because we now have maneuver control, or at least some ability to estimate this. You're never quite sure exactly how much you get from those Sepatrons, or at least I'm not. I may have to have a look into how to know exactly how much thrust we're going to get from them. However, let's see how well we did. That's getting close. Ooh, look at that. So we haven't impacted, but we are 70k above the surface. Not 70,000, just 70k. And we're going to turn off, well, we don't have any RCS anymore, so let's just tick this node. We don't really have any control at all. So I'm going to turn on the antennas. I've put that onto an action group. There we go. And the only thing now we've got a problem with is potentially electric charge. And there's not much we can do about it at this point. I've got solar panels all over this Pioneer. Is it Pioneer? Yeah, Pioneer 1 probe. And again, not much I can do about that because I don't think that's actually activated at the moment. It's deactivated. And it doesn't use very much electricity at all anyway. There's not much else we can do. So, let's go to the map view. And let's just accelerate out there, shall we? And let's look at our mission. The mission is Lunar Flyby Uncrewed. And now it isn't ticked automatically. Good. At least we'll have a legitimate mission that it isn't going to bug out on me. Assuming I have enough battery. Because without that battery, I guess I'm going to have to put another battery pack on. But I'm not sure if we can even... It's too heavy when we start doing that. So let's give this a go anyway. And let's see if we can transmit some science. Ooh, we're actually gaining power. We're actually... Let's just have a look in normal view. Where is the sun? It's coming from behind us. And it's obviously shining onto both sets of panels. So these side ones and these back ones. So we actually are recharging. This is pretty good. So as long as we have connection back to Earth, you'll see all of the things we can connect with based on those two antennas. We should be okay, he says. We're going to be very, very close though. An impactor shouldn't be terribly much harder to actually get done now, to be honest. So we can take that other mission. So in we come. And there we go. So do we have to take science from any particular area around the moon? So we can just get any particular science that we like. So this imaging should do. Let me just move that up here so you can see what I was looking at. So yeah, we've done that. And then we have to fly by the moon within 5,000 kilometers. And we're going to get that. And I think what we may also get is lots of space low science. It depends on what space low is for the moon. I'm not sure if it's 50 kilometers, but we're coming at 71. So we don't have any ability to adjust this. So let's see how well we do. Let's just say warp here. And we'll give that the ability to stop our time warp. So in we come. And let's have a look at the moon up close for the first time. Here it is. Really nice textures on RSS. This is the RSS 8K textures, so they are really nice when we have the 8Ks available. So in we come towards the moon, and it's still space high. Are we going to get space low? Ooh, space high still. Oh, a space high over the moon, so I guess we can do that and get a little bit of science. It's coming down now towards a couple of 100K. We may well lose sight of Earth at some point very soon, but as long as this pops up, where are we? 200. Let's increase speed again. Oh, there we go. Yes, so click on everything. All the science. And we'll transmit everything we can. I'm not quite sure how much of this is biome specific, so we'll see how long it takes. How much? Oh, we got lots of electric charge. Okay, that's going to start going by. We just can't slow down. There's no way for us to slow down to go into an orbit, so that is fine. We'll keep on doing this. There we go, even more. Will any of this be biome dependent, I wonder? Because we're going... Are we going back up? No, we're still coming in. Good, good, good. And how much science have we got so far? 33? And... one more? 42? And this last one is actually quite a bit. The cosmic ray science is 10.5 science just for that one experiment. So again, I'm just going to fast forward now. And will we get any more experiments that we can do? Ah, there we go. So another set entirely. Well, we got some of it done. Again, some of it was biome dependent. So I'm going to go and press those buttons a few more times whenever they pop up. And I'll see you back at the Space Center to close off the episode. I realise you can't see that very, very easily. Just because we don't have any lights on this thing. We can't afford the power. I don't think we have the lights yet either. See you back on the ground. And just to close off the episode, we're back on the ground. We've got 300,000, even after the upgrades to the tracking center, tracking station, and the mission control. Both of those 500,000 essentially. So still got 300,000 because we completed that mission. We got another 150,000 for the completion, and we got 77 science. Unfortunately, those antennas are not strong enough for us to get a connection past the moon's orbit. As soon as it goes a little bit past, even though we got full power, it just can't connect anymore. Otherwise, we get science from, well, you know, outside of the Earth-Moon system. So that means we can spend on stuff. So we're going to take this, definitely take this node, which will then free up some of the others. And it will also free up these. So we don't have to upgrade. Yeah, so anything with 25 science or less, we can do without upgrading this whole R&D lab. So, better solar panels. Oh, thank you, better solar panels. That's something we're going to want to do. Interplanetary communications. So the Agena D, reflectron, communitron, and parabolic antennas. So we're definitely going to want those. These are both 25 though. And RTGs, that's an awfully expensive unit. But then we don't need solar panels. So I guess you could take either of those, but you do need to keep plutonium. And it outputs 9 electric charge an hour. Okay. Is there anything else that we can get on this side? All of those are over 25. Yeah, so it's probably going to be down here. So we definitely want these. We absolutely want the solar panels. And we may as well get the communications as well. That's going to give us 2 upgrade points. And we don't have enough for any more, I don't think. Just for the... that's 19. So maybe some more science. If we send another lunar past the moon, we might get a different biome if we pass on the other side of the moon. We'll see. I've got another one in storage. You can see there's water around just because of a bug. So yeah, if we have a look here, I've got one still in storage. I've made 2 of them. I kind of wish I'd tooled them now because I actually took more attempts than I expected to. However, we do have then the mission of an impactor, which we can do, and that'll give us 187,000 to start. And we have to hit the moon itself. So I'm going to have to be a lot more accurate, even more accurate than we've already been with that that separator and the spin motors. Maybe we'll send the spin motors so they're completely sideways, and then the separator will reduce the separation as much as possible, just so that we can be quite accurate with the delta V in our stage. In any case, we got pretty close to impacting the moon anyway, didn't we? So 70 kilometers is pretty close. Maybe we'll look at doing the impactor next time. We're definitely not going to get to Venus and Mars flyby. I think I almost want to look at generating, not a landing, but some way of having a lunar injection and then having a craft at the top that can slow down to bring it into orbit next, or something along those lines. That's going to take a lot more work, but let's start with the impactor next episode. So I hope you enjoyed this one. We've got the flyby missions all essentially done. I don't think we can take them anymore. It's certainly not offering them. No. It would be nice if it did, because they're actually relatively easy now. We've got the upgrades. But the fact we can't is okay. We'll just be able to advance the tech a little more. So let's just spend those last couple of points, just while you are obviously subscribing and sharing and thumbs up, of course. And let's just spend some points. We've got 3 points available, and R&D, I think, for 2 of them, and then 1 of them in VRB upgrades. Okay, so our tech is now 405 days for entry, descent, and landing. Maybe we should switch that around a little bit. Some of these other nodes would be good. Maybe primitive solar panels or orbital rocketry. 1960. In fact, is 1959 done? Have I not purchased the stuff out of that yet? I haven't. Ooh. And of course, all these prices are wrong. So next episode, I'll probably upgrade our existing rockets as well. We'll be able to go in here and then purchase a new variant, maybe. Let's just load the Lunar 1. And see if these are any more performant than our current rocket engines. Hopefully they will be. Particularly if that top AJ-10 gets even more capable. I don't think we'll get to the version of it yet that we could use as some sort of lunar vehicle, but okay, so let's head up to the top. And can we purchase a different version of this engine? Can. So we can go up to the AJ-10-101A. And that only still has 1 ignition, of course. Its rated burn time is 2 minutes 30, so it's the same as what we currently have. Probably more powerful, so let's maybe... where is our delta V figures? So here it is, 3727. What happens if we purchase this? Not a great deal. Oh, hang on, 3768. So we get around 40 more delta V with the same sort of time. The same rated time. However, we will need to then R&D that one as well. But I'll do some of this off camera and join me next episode to do some lunar impacting, I think. Thanks for watching.